Hello and welcome to McIver's Grant Public Library's Storytime Tuesday. Did you know that today is the very first day of fall? Sometimes in the South, where we live, the first day of fall still feels like summer, but today, did you hear that bird? Today, the temperature has dropped a little bit and it's starting to feel cool, and we can start really thinking about fall fun, can't we? So we are here in the garden of McIver's Grant Public Library today, and we are going to read a book about fall. We're going to talk a little bit about another book that I've got, and then we're going to talk about maybe doing a scavenger hunt. Won't that be fun? The first book we're going to read is called In the Middle of Fall, and it's by Kevin Henkes. He wrote the words, so he's the author, and Laura Dronzek is the illustrator. She drew the pictures. What kind of pictures would you draw if you were going to draw pictures of fall? What do you think of when you think of fall? Laura Dronzek, I said it right that time, she thinks of leaves, doesn't she? So you see these leaves on the end papers, aren't they pretty? Do you think of fall when you think of different colored leaves? This book is published by Greenwillow Books. And there's another picture, In the Middle of Fall. And I think our bird really wants to be talking to you today. That's awesome, isn't it? All right, let's see what Kevin Henkes says about fall. In the middle of fall, when the leaves have already turned. Now, we're in the beginning of fall, aren't we? So maybe our leaves haven't turned yet, but this always makes me think of fall and autumn, doesn't it? All those beautiful leaves in the trees. And the sky is mostly gray, and the air is chilly. Is it harder to go outside in the morning? You go, ooh, maybe I needed a jacket. And the squirrels are frisky. You see the squirrels running around? What are they doing in the fall? Why are the squirrels busy in the fall? What is he doing up there? They're getting ready for winter, aren't they? They're gathering all of their nuts for winter, aren't they? And the gardens are brown. I like that picture of those sunflowers. They don't look bright yellow like they do in the summer, do they? And the pumpkins are ready. That's another thing that makes me think of autumn is pumpkins. You see how they're all picking their pumpkins? Have you ever been to a pumpkin patch and picked your own pumpkin? Isn't that fun? Look at all the different sizes that they have. And the apples are like ornaments. There's some more squirrels. I like how they said that, and the apples are like ornaments. And they're hanging from trees like we hang them at Christmas. Do you see somebody in the background picking an apple off that tree? Let's see what else happens in the fall. It takes just one big gust of wind all at once. It takes just one big gust of wind. Can you see how the wind's coming, making those letters even blow just like the leaves? I love it when they do that with letters in a book. It takes just one big gust of wind, and all at once, what's happening to those leaves when that big gust of wind hits it? Are they flying through the air? I love it when that happens in the autumn. Everything is yellow and red and orange. Look at all those leaves flying through the air like confetti. All over, all around. I like how she's wearing her jacket and her boots, because sometimes in the fall, especially around here, it gets really wet, doesn't it? It rains a lot. She's got her jacket and her boots because it's windy and maybe just a little chilly, and she's playing with her dog, and the wind has picked up the leaves and it's blowing them all around to where they're not just on the ground and on the trees. You can see a squirrel. I like all these details in this pictures. Right in the middle of fall. And what did she do with all those leaves? Have you ever done that? Have you ever raked up all the leaves and then jumped into them? That's a fun thing to do, isn't it? I used to do that with my brother and my sister when I was little. And there is the squirrels, and they're getting leaves as well as nuts to make their beds for the winter. And look at that squirrel. He decided he wanted to go swing on the swing. Would you share your swing with a squirrel? But remember it says, because soon, what's going to happen after autumn? What season comes after autumn? It'll be kind of nice like it is today, kind of a little bit cool, but still warm enough you don't need a jacket. And then in the middle of fall, like in this book, they'll start wearing a little coat, and they may pull up their hood because of the wind. And then what do you have to do by the end of fall? You have to wear a little heavier jacket, maybe some mittens and a hat, because the yellow and the red and the orange will be gone. All those leaves, they'll fall off. And what happens after all of the leaves fall off? And the sky will change again. Do you see how gray it is? But it's more white now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And then soon, very soon, the sky will be white and empty. Do you see that white and empty sky? And that squirrel is ready now, ready for winter. And look at that. This color, this page is all white, just like the sky, isn't it? Ooh, and ready to fill up with snow. Some people have snow, it depends on what kind of area you live in the country. Some people have snow before winter. When I was little, I lived up north in New York State, and they would have snow before winter. We would have snow at Thanksgiving when it was still fall sometimes. Down here, we don't have snow right away in the fall, do we? It takes us a little bit, we're a little warmer down here. It takes us a little bit longer, but there's some snowflakes on this end papers. Can you tell the difference between these two seasons? What season do you think that is? And what season do you think that is? So we have a little while till winter comes, but I like how Kevin Henkes tells us about the whole season of fall. And we kind of jumped into the middle of it, but then we can talk today about what happens in the very beginning of fall here in Tennessee. So I've got another book, and what we're going to do with it is we're going to call it a picture walk through this book. I'm not going to read you the book. I'm going to tell you the title. I'm going to tell you the author and the illustrator and the publisher, and then we're going to open up and look at all of these wonderful pictures. This book is called Colors of Fall, and it's by Laura Purdie Salas. So she is the author. She wrote the words, and she is also the illustrator, and she used pictures from a camera. She's a photographer for this book. Aren't those beautiful fall leaves? This book is published by Capstone Press. And do you see those beautiful pictures? Isn't that pretty? So when I've turned these pages, I want you to tell me what color you see most. What color do you think that is? I want you to say it really loud at your house, or you can put it in the comments underneath. And then we're not going to talk about the words. We're just going to look at the pictures. I want you to look and think, do I think of fall when I see that color? Do I think of fall when I see these things? And what do you notice maybe in this picture that maybe somebody else doesn't notice? That's what a picture walk is you just talk about the pictures in a book. And do you know that most people would probably think there's that same color yellow, isn't it? Do you think of school buses in the fall? Do you think about school starting? Some people might think that if you do this and you don't read the words on a book, that it's not really good for your skills for learning to read. But you know what? It is a very, very important way to build early literacy in children, is to do a picture walk and let them lead and let them tell you what they like and what they see. And that builds vocabulary, and it builds positive experiences around books, and it's a very, very cool tool. And so I just learned that. I did a class, and I'm going to be doing some more things telling you about that. But I did want to tell you that if you have a book that maybe is a little bit older than your child, and you picked it up and you thought, oh, these pictures are gorgeous, enjoy it together. You don't have to read every word. You don't have to make them sit still for everything. You can do a picture walk just like this. I like apples, and I think of apples in the fall. Think of that apple smell. What is that? What is that? Do you see geese in the fall flying in the air? We've got some across the street from us. But do you ever think of the color blue for fall? Sometimes I do. What about that color? What color is that? That is my sister's favorite color. These are mums, and a lot of times we put mums out by our yard, don't we? So right now Miss Vanessa's talking about the pictures, but if you were doing this at home, you would be talking about the pictures. What is that? Is that a part of fall for you? Do you enjoy football? Do you enjoy playing football and watching it on TV with your family? And then there is just a beautiful fall scene with all the different colors in it. What color do you see the most? So that's a kind of an example of a book picture walk. That might be coming up. That's that. And there's some black. We think of black sometimes in crows. And do you see the leaves? The end of fall, isn't it, where the leaves are gone? And pink. Do you think of pink in fall and the turkey's neck? That's called a wattle. That's some vocabulary in it. Oh, and the white of frost, where you can see frost on the window sometimes when it gets chilly. And green and gold. Green for tractors. Some tractors aren't green. What color is your tractor? What color is your favorite? And there is a little squirrel. We had the squirrels, didn't we? So we did a picture walk through this book. I like this book, and I like the idea of doing a picture walk, especially in the fall. But you know something else we can do that's a walk? We can do a scavenger hunt. So today I walked around our garden, and I pulled some things that were in the garden. And because, like I said, this is the beginning of the fall in Tennessee, we still have green leaves, don't we? Some of them might be red. These leaves are red. These leaves stay red all year, but they kind of do remind us of fall, don't they, when the other colors start joining them. So you might find a leaf or two. You might find a leaf that's starting to turn. I did find a leaf that was starting to turn. See how it's green on the bottom? And there it's red. It's starting to change colors already. So you might find green leaves, or you might find different colored leaves. Let me see what other leaves I got. I think I had one more. One more. Okay. So we found some leaves. So I'm going to say, let's go outside with your grown-up today, or maybe this week, and find some leaves, and you can see what different color leaves you have right now. And then maybe if you do it next week, these leaves might even be different colors, and you can watch them. And one thing you can do, if you have a, I tried to say microscope. This is not a microscope, but you can use your magnifying glass, and you can look at your leaves really closely, and you can see all those veins and all the ways that a leaf works and keeps the tree hydrated. Okay. Another thing you may find in your garden. Oh, there's my other leaf. There's my red leaf. Isn't that pretty? Another thing you might find in your garden are some berries. Sometimes plants make berries in the fall. You might find some flowers that are still blooming because it hasn't really been cold very long, has it? And then some flowers bloom better in the fall than others. And then those are the ones we put on the porch to decorate, don't we? But these are some flowers that are in our garden that are still blooming today because it's not quite cold yet. You might find a pine cone. And you might find some flowers that are starting to turn colors too. Now, flowers turn colors also in the fall, don't they? These are hydrangeas, and they start out white and soft, and then as they get, as fall comes and as they get done, they dry very pretty, and you can put them in your house dry, and you don't have to water them. So that's kind of cool. So what do you think you'll find in your garden today? I can't wait to hear what you found in the comments. Let us know. We want to know. And I hope you have a wonderful first day of fall. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.